Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How you guys doing out there? This Mike Melton back with From Pain to Purpose podcast, episode 30, the season finale, season 2 finale. Got a very special guest on today. We did a Sunday afternoon session because she needed to get her story out here. I'm proud to present a young lady who's very ambitious, has a lot of things going on and a lot of goals that she's trying to get accomplished. Please present Dr. Ellis is in the building. How you doing, Dr. Ellis?
I am blessed. I'm blessed, and I'm so grateful for you and this opportunity. So thank you, Mike.
Yeah, when I was reading you,
I can't complain.
yeah. When I was reading your your questionnaire, it started out very interesting about saying that you had the childhood was the things you went through was so rough that you don't even remember life before that. So take me back to growing up, man, and where you grew up at, and how was life growing up?
Yeah. So I had a beautiful mom. My mom is beautiful. Oh, shout out to my mom. Um, and a mom who tried her best, but my mom was a teen mom. My mom, by the age of 16, had two children.
Mm,
And although she tried her best, her resources were limited. And because
mm,
her resources were limited, me as a child, I felt the impact of that.
wow.
So just to kind of go back at the start, the devil has been wanting me dead for a long time. And
Wow.
it's not until I walked into purpose that I truly understood that, right? I thought for a long time I just kept going through trauma. I'm like, what's
Hmm.
going on? I'm going through trauma.
Hold up, your
And then
camera
I
went out. Hold up, your camera
recognized
went out.
it
Hey,
was
sis, your camera
purpose.
went out.
That all of
Sis,
this
hit your
pain,
camera. Your camera went out.
that all of this pain, um, okay, hold on.
You had it, then it went out again. Now you got to
Devil,
unmute your mic.
this is a
Go
new
ahead.
computer and it's working.
All right, you got it.
Yeah, that's nothing but the devil.
Mhm.
Nothing but the devil. So look, he don't want the story to be out, but God's gonna be
Fact.
glorified. Um, he's mad. Look, so um, for a long time, I'll go back to the beginning, right? Um, when I was 5 years old, my mom just told me this story years ago. When I was five, no, I'll start before then. My mom was going to abort me. She was
Mm,
young and she already had a baby, my brother, and she's like, I'm young, I can't do this again, but God had called her to keep me. The
mm.
first time that the devil tried to get me up out of here before me even growing into my mom's womb. And then my mom has me, and I want to say by the age of 5, I'm diagnosed with a kidney disorder. My mom says
Wow.
she just nurturing me, loving me. And somebody said something wrong with her, mommy. Her face, like I don't know what's going on. And my mom, like I don't know what's going on. Her body just keep getting bigger, and I ended up being diagnosed with a kidney disorder. Second time the devil was
Wow.
trying to get me up out of here. So my mom traveled to the hospital. She did her good motherly duties, got me together. But then as I grew, my mom again just being in poverty, just my mom working, trying to figure it out, just the lack of resources, just never really having all of the things to really live a sustained and healthy life. But again, my mom did the best she can. She loved me through it all. So that was turbulent. But then when I got to around 13, life drastically changed. Life drastically changed because I was introduced to something that I shouldn't have been introduced to by the age of
Mm,
13, and that was unhealthy relationships.
mm,
At that age, I experienced domestic violence. I experienced almost being killed. I experienced
mm.
being around the wrong crowds. I just experienced just a life of just turmoil. I didn't know that it was turmoil. I thought this was normal. I
Speaking
thought
of
that
that, speaking of that, the turmoil part and stuff, let's take it back a little bit. You talked about your mom having you this and that. Like, where was your father in your life growing up?
At this point, I never even saw a picture of him. I didn't have a father. I didn't know who he was. I didn't have a name. And that actually, at the age of 13, was what I know now as a therapist, the core reason on why life was the way it was. And a lot of the decisions that I made was based on the fact I didn't have a father. Right. So around that age, I started to ask those same questions like, where's my dad? Why don't I have this? Why am I not loved? Why am I being rejected? Even though I didn't give that language to it, it was just questions of like, why don't he want me? Why don't
Facts.
he?
Yeah.
Why is he not coming to see about me? Like all of the things. And in that navigation, I thought I found love. I thought I found love. And men were at the time boys had begun to fill that void. My daddy issues and me trying to look for my dad and me feeling that rejection, I began to feel that with attention and love and trying to seek out somebody to make me feel whole because I didn't understand where the brokenness was coming from. I just knew I
Wow.
wanted love. I didn't know what
Wow.
love was supposed to be like. I just knew I needed love. And with that, I started a journey of just picking the wrong people, not knowing
Mm.
better. And it led me down a road of having some severe consequences. So I found love or found like or whatever we call it at the age 14. And then I got pregnant.
Mm.
That changed everything. I'm 15, 14 years old this time, and I'm about to be a mom.
What's going
And
through your mind at that time?
I planned it because I was so lost. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm in love, although I'm getting abused. I'm getting tore up from the
Mm.
floor up. But in my mind, this is love. This comes with the territory, right? Like you're supposed to weather the storm. And, I just thought this was normal. I get pregnant. I'm like, we're going to have a family. We're going to do things the right way. I'm going to have I'm going to make sure I give my child a dad because I never had one.
Mm.
Again, nobody's telling me that this is wrong, but I wasn't sharing my story. So I was going through a lot of this without my mom even knowing. But I'm
Wow.
running the streets and leaving the house. My mom just like, what's going on with my daughter? I'm just running after what I'm thinking is love. I have the baby and I found God.
Mm.
And it changed the trajectory of my life. Me having this baby, what I thought would be something that would break me, end up saving me. Because God used the birth of my daughter to make me see life differently. I always just thought it was the hood, the men, attention, street, cheese fries, like the same type of food. Like I'm just
Uh-huh.
home in the office and that's it. I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I was a product of my environment. I thought life was good. When I found Jesus, I'm like,
Mm.
whoa, I was not living.
Take
I
me to
had
that
not.
moment when he finally came to you.
So there was a lady named Carolyn Panetta.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote a book. She was at this church that I was going to, True Servant.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved on me when I didn't understand what love was. And she would say, you're going to be powerful one day. Mind you, I got this little baby. And she said, you're going to be powerful one day. And you're going to help the lives of young girls. And I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know
Wow.
what that means. I'm just young. I want to be hot. I don't know. And she would, she loved me. And she would say, you got to just keep coming to church, keep encouraging me. And I just, again, still in and out, just trying to figure it out. But she dies.
Mm.
She ended up having AIDS. She tells the
Mm.
whole church, she writes a book, and we're like, whoa, you got AIDS? What's going on? We learn of the whole story. And at her funeral, she shows a video and we see her in her dying state. And in
Mm.
the state, she's encouraging us. And she's telling us about God and his goodness and all of the things. And it opened my eyes to God for the first time. I was going to church, but I really wasn't going to church. And
Yeah.
when I saw this video, I'm like, who is this God?
Mm.
Like, who is this Jesus that She knows up. And from that moment, I said, I need to accept Jesus. I need to accept God in my life. And
Mm,
that's when everything changed for me in that
mm.
moment. And I had to be like 15, 16, almost 16 years old.
Wow. Wow. So what became your new focus and what was your strategy on how to get things done?
So it was just first like really accepting God's love,
Hmm.
because I thought I had to really reframe my thinking.
Mm,
So when I accepted Jesus and his love, I recognized that he loved me, that I should love myself. And then
hmm.
that's what started the journey of self-love, the journey of knowing that God wanted something greater for me, all
Mm,
because I knew he loved me.
mm,
That changed everything. So I started to research more. I started to lean into God more. I started to worship more. I started to learn more. And in my learning, he began to open my eyes to the truth of what I could have access to.
How did
He's
you how did you manage the adversity of breaking away from the generational curses, the people, the things that pull you back in, the you know what I'm saying? Everything that's out there. Because when we get away from these generational curses and we start going into our purpose, the adversary trying to pull you back. And those
every day.
generational curses from those spirits inside those people you leaving, they mad you leaving these curses. They don't want you they don't want you to go to that other side. They trying to pull you back in. You know what I'm saying? How did you deal with that?
Yeah. I feel like I'm still dealing with it. It's not over. Look, the higher you
Uh-huh.
go, the more the enemy just
Yeah.
try to make it look a little different.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
now, and I think back then, and I didn't know, I don't know if I have full language for it, but I have the language now, is like remembering the truth of God.
Mm.
Like when the enemy try to shine things up and
Mm-hmm.
beautify,
Mm-hmm.
and try to bring your trauma back, the rejection, the abandonment, making you feel like
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be anything, because he used different tools to bring you right back. I'm
Facts.
reminded of the truth that
Mm.
God said I should be the lender and not the borrower, right? That he
Mm.
said the last will be first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's just always being reminded before I try to let the enemy pull me back. What is God's truth? What does God want for my life?
Mm.
This may look like this
Mm.
over here, but what is God saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's always just been my groundness in God. Like, God, what do you want me to do? Where should I go? How should I say? And then also just trusting my environment. Like, I don't be everywhere.
Mm.
I watch what I'm exposed to, because
Set
I
apart.
recognize I
Yeah.
don't say I'm too strong. I don't say that I'm like I've arrived somewhere that I can't be brought back out. So
Facts.
I'm always looking like, okay, who am I listening to? What am I listening to? The music I listen to, the people I
Mm.
listen to, the relationships I'm in, certain places somebody else can go to, I can't.
Me too. Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
think I'm strong enough that I can't be pulled
Yeah.
out. So I'm like, I can't go there.
Yeah,
I
it
just
helps me being in recovery. You know what I'm saying? God most high willing, if I get to April 1st, I have 7 years without no alcohol. And me being me being an Israelite, understanding I'm an Israelite, is certain places that I just don't go. Me and my wife
mhm,
try to live set apart lives. And some people think we weird, we strange, but we understand that, like you said, you can get pulled back in. You know what I'm saying? And the adversary just wants you there. Now, you this teenage
exactly.
mom and you gotta get it done and raise a daughter. You had a daughter, right? It was a little girl.
I had a daughter. Yeah, I have a daughter,
Uh,
21 years old. Yeah.
what was your plan when she was that baby and you had that awakening? Like, what was your plan and what was your schedule on how you was getting this stuff done?
I didn't have a plan.
Mm.
I didn't have a plan. When I tell you I was in survival mode, I literally
Mm.
was just trusting God every day. I was so young. Um, I think life changed when I was in college. That's when maybe
Mm.
around at 18, I want to say 17, 18, God began to tell me the importance of education for my life. So I think
Mm.
that's when I started to plan. When God
Okay.
said, I need you to go to school. Before then, it was just, how am I going to figure out how am I going to feed this baby? I'm just trusting
Mm.
God for me and this baby to eat.
Mm.
right? I'm just trusting God for us to have a house. So I end up getting kicked out of high school in ninth grade. I went to
Mm.
Youth Build Institute. Then I went to Twilight. Again, that still was no plan. It was I was forced to go to school, and
Mm-hmm.
I just was living, trying to figure it out, like just surviving, which I believe a lot of people are doing. So the plan was just trusting Jesus. Even
Mm.
I didn't have to know A, B, C, and D. God, I'm just trusting you to figure it out. And then one day he gave me the plan. And it had to be around that 19, 20, 18, 19, 20. I started to see a little bit more clear. But from that 13 to 17, survival,
What was the plan?
education. He told me that I would need to be educated. Although I was not exposed to education, he told
Mm-hmm.
me school would be my way out.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that I need to educate myself in order to educate people, but I knew that education would put me on a road to be able to take care of my baby. And
Mm.
it has changed my life. It's changed my life. A lot of the things that my daughter is able to do is because I went and got educated. I
Facts.
had to get the
Facts.
degrees. Degrees are not for everybody, but
Yeah.
for God in my life, what He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do, and for me to take care of this baby, I
Mm-hmm.
had to go.
Mm.
And he said, you have to go to school. And the plan was trust him. I didn't know fully why I had to go to school. But he said, go.
Mm. And
And
how is she taking having a mom that's has all this stuff going on, that's into all this stuff? Is she feel does she feel empowered from
she feels empowered. She literally, I'm looking at my phone because she just said, text me and says, I just make you proud, don't I? So it was so funny.
I shared it on your page, so she probably watching it.
Yeah, and she said, nobody can ever come to you with negative stuff about me.
Oh, praise to the
Um,
Most High. Praise to the
and
Most High.
she just said that, and I just had to share that because uh, she's so proud of me.
All praise to the Most
And
High.
although I never understood the fullness of all of this.
Mm.
God knew.
Mm-hmm.
And she's such a reflection of obedience to God.
Mm.
Like, because I obeyed and went, she see the fruits of my labor. Like, she's not struggling in college.
Mm. What college she go to?
She's that writer,
Oh,
right?
that's
Studying to
dope.
be a
That's dope. That's
lawyer.
dope.
She's the president of the NAACP.
Mm.
She's living, she's enjoying, but it's because I set the standard. Because I was obedient in education. Education
Mm.
is normal to her. She's an honor roll student. It's normal, right? Like she graduated high school. Her not getting educated, education is abnormal to her, right? So the
So you
standard
broke the
is set,
yeah. So you broke the
is
curses.
broken. She didn't have a
Yeah.
baby. 21
Yeah.
with no, never
Oh,
been in
praise to the
jail.
Most High. That's
She
what I'm
never had a
talking about.
baby.
That's what I'm
She
talking
never
about.
was expelled from school. She just had an entirely different life because of God, but also because of what I was exposed to. It just changed the trajectory of her life. So she's always saying, I'm just so proud of you. She says, I want to be
Oh,
the woman. She
praises.
says, I want to be half of the woman that you are.
Oh,
I said,
praises.
girl, you better than me. You're gonna be so much better. You're gonna
Now
be
you
so
get
much
out of
better.
college. How do you build up to the point of getting this big nonprofit? Like, what was your steps once you got out of college?
So for my bachelor's, it was like, oh God, I need a job. I was like, I got
Fact,
this
fact,
baby.
fact,
I need a
fact.
job. For my bachelor's degree, it was more of I knew I wanted to help. I want to tell this story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually had almost two suicide attempts.
Wow.
I kind of skipped over that. I actually overdosed on 40 a bottle of Tylenol, 40 pills.
Mm.
Um, and that did something to my soul. I didn't know anything
Mm.
about mental health, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what opened me to the door of, okay, what is mental health? Like,
Mm.
what is depression? I learned really what rejection can do to the mind, really what
Facts.
abandonment and daddy issues and urban trauma, all
Mm-hmm.
of that, like what it can do. So when that happened to me, God said get education, and I said I need to get my bachelor's in mental health and psychology because I had to figure out what am I doing with all this pain? Like, what is this for?
Mm.
Like, why? Why did I go through this? Why did I want to kill myself? Why was I diagnosed depression? Why did I have PTSD? And
Mm-hmm.
then God said, you're going to learn it in school. So that was the awakening, right? You're going to learn how to correlate all of this. And then that's when, after I got my bachelor's, I says, okay, psychology, the brain, trauma, suicide, all of this, I need to start an organization to help people. I
Mm.
need people
Mm-hmm.
to know about mental health. I need
Mm.
specifically Black people to know about therapy. But in order for me to be able to advocate, I needed to get the education. I needed to start the program. I needed to do all the things. So when I got my bachelor's, I said, okay, what do you want me to do? So then the nonprofit became Elijah's Hope after my daughter. My
That's
daughter name
dope.
was Elijah. And
That's dope.
the nonprofit is called Elijah's Hope Center because God put it all together from birth, from the baby, from the suicide attempt. All of it equated to people need to take care of their mental health.
Mm.
People need to really process their trauma. You really can't, you really got to deal with that rejection. You really got to deal with that molestation. You really got to deal with
Been
that
there.
abuse. You really have to deal
Yeah.
with it. And I knew God was calling the nonprofit to be the vehicle to
Mm-hmm.
allow people to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's what the nonprofit is. It's just a vehicle to help people to understand that you have to deal with yourself. You have to deal um, with with what you've been through because what you've been through impacts your behavior. It turns you. It could turn you into something really evil, or it can turn you into something that make you change the world. So that was the building of the nonprofit. All of that thinking together, I said, "This is the hope. This is what God wants me to give back in this way through the nonprofit."
So I always tell the clients I deal with because I work at New Hope Behavior Health, um, and I do groups. I work in the adolescent unit, but I also do some groups in the adult unit too.
Mhm.
And I tell the kids and the adults that everybody got a story. You got two things you could do with your
Mhm.
story. You're gonna use it as a testimony to help others, or you're gonna use it as an excuse to destroy yourself. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
what I ask you is like when you dealing with um different clients and different people you come across, what's the ratio of the people that you deal with that the help is right there, but they rather rest in the pain? Because a lot of people don't even know who that new person is and they scared to change because they don't know who that person. You know, get what
Mm.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the help is right there. But they know if they get that help, I don't got this excuse no more of what I
Mm.
went through. You know what I'm saying? What's the ratio you think of the amount of people that you help that you run into that fork in the road?
I would want to say maybe like almost 80%. It's a big number.
Yeah.
And it's big because there's different reasons on why people get to that thinking, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's really like the underlayer that you got to kind of deal with because
Mm-hmm.
people they think away because something happened. So
Mm-hmm.
even the ideology of all that you said that comes from a place.
Facts.
People don't know what like you understand, like you have to peel back that to
Mm-hmm.
you have to peel back the real trauma
Mm-hmm.
to figure out why did they get there,
Mm-hmm.
why are they comfortable in the pain, why are they scared of change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big number that really gets there because they don't understand why they think that way. So they're going to come in like, I'd rather stay in this pain. I'm not about
Yeah.
to change, I'm not about to process that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so different because I help them understand why they need to process. I help
Mm.
them really understand why how did that core belief get here?
Mm-hmm.
How do they correlate their experience and the trauma to that understanding, to that belief? So that's why, again, that's why the number is so high because people don't know why they think that. They're just
Mm-hmm.
coming in, I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
understand none of this. I ain't about to do that. So that's why when they say that, I say, okay, cool. Let me ask certain questions. And then they say, oh, that's why I can't do it. That's why I don't want to do it. That's why I shouldn't do it. And then now you're processing that. So it's back to answer, I want to say about 75, 80% of people just rather not, rather not change.
What gave you the patience to be able to deal with, like, if you're dealing with a particular individual and you've been giving them this kind of advice for years and years and years and years, and they keep coming to you with the same thing? What gives you the patience to
Yeah.
get through to the other side? Yeah.
I think the lived experience, like
Mm-hmm.
knowing where I came from and knowing some things that I still struggle with, even with degrees and understanding, right? How God had to deal with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That if God would have gave up on me, I would have not been where I am
Mm-hmm.
today, right? I would not be here if God turned away. And when I was in the psychiatric ward, I promised God something. When I was going to kill myself for the second time, I was going to run into a tree, and I heard my
Mm.
daughter's voice in the background. My baby wasn't even in the car. And instead of me running into the tree, there was a hospital up the street. God said, keep driving. And I drove into Princeton Health there on Route 1. I didn't even know they had a psychiatric unit. I didn't know there was a hospital. I just drove, and I went to I admitted myself. Well, they admitted me. By the time I was up there crying and intake, they said, keep the girl, something going on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
they admitted me, and I'm going to write a book called I Met God Again in room 305. And I was in that room, and my roommate was withdrawing from a drug, and I'm on
Mm.
this floor rocking back and forth in a psychiatric unit. And I told God that if you get me out of this, that I promise I would help, that I would be patient, I would be what nobody was ever for me. So I'm always in remembrance of that promise to God. So that's where my patience come from, because I promise God I will help. I promise
Mm.
God that I understand people are not going to get to the answer in a day, in 2 days.
Facts.
They
Facts.
need
Facts.
somebody patient. They need somebody to understand. And I know that trauma will have you thinking away, behaving away. So you need
100%.
somebody to help you process that stuff and be patient with you. So God was patient with me to answer the question. In return, I am patient with his people.
I had communicated with you because I wanted to come do some work at your building with hopefully most high willing some things will fall into place, because I came there, I visited. I like your space. I like the way y'all have it at. I like the whole shebang, the way y'all got it set up. The everything was top notch. Um and I be seeing some of your posts, and I could tell you're a person that generally really care about people.
Mm.
How do you, but I also know you're in an environment where people don't like to help people that really care. No, I'm being 100 because I was that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I understand when you're not in it for the game and all of the other stuff that come along with it, the bells and whistles and this and that, and you really want to help people, you don't get help when you really want to help people. You know what I'm saying? How do you handle that?
I'm still handling it. God in prayer. Okay.
I know.
Because,
I
okay, so
know.
what people don't understand, I'm the director of the wellness center, but that's not my actual baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my 9 to 5. But a lot of my work is done through my nonprofit, in which I have no funding for it. I still have no
Mm.
operating funding, right? I do all of my services and all the things, the flyers, all that stuff is free. I still get no help. Okay.
Mm.
But I'm how I'm handling it, um, is I'm trusting God that He gonna make provision, that this is
Mm.
His work, right? This is
Mm.
kingdom work. Um, He takes care of me, right? And until he feel as though I need to be funded in whatever way, I got to meet the right people and do all the things, I'm learning to
Uh-huh.
not internalize it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
learning to not internalize the lack of help. I recognize
Mhm.
that some people want to manage poverty, that some people
Mhm.
don't want us being well,
Mm.
that it's profitable. It's
Mm.
profitable for the poor, It's more
Mm.
profitable for other people to stay in where they are and get
Mm-hmm.
collect their salaries. Because if we truly were well, people will be without jobs.
Oh, now you speaking my
People are not
language.
going
You
to be
speaking my
without no job.
language. Yeah, you speaking my language now. You speaking my language
Okay.
now. Yeah, yeah.
So my focus is being okay that this is the truth. And
Mm,
that God, how do you want me to navigate this? Because this is real. But God is saying, just don't stop the work. I can't stop
mm,
the work. You know, but
mm.
I see it. I see it. I see
I've been
the why.
there.
I
I've
see the
been
why.
there. I've been there. I did basketball tournaments for years. Had the biggest basketball company in um at one point in the country for middle school. AAU tournaments, camp showcases, everything. I did tournaments in all types of places. And they wouldn't give me no gyms inside Trenton. No, so I understand. So what I had to do was I went on the outskirts, hooked up with it was McCorson at the time, Trenton Catholic, hooked up with Fauci, started having events out there. Went to Neptune, they gave me what I wanted. Went to Atlantic City. I remember Atlantic City mayor came up to me and was like, "Listen, you can have all the gyms you want. Just keep coming
Wow.
down here." You get what I'm saying? But at home, it was just it was so much, but because I really wanted to help people. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
understand. So when I see some of the posts you put, I've been where you at. Like I understand how that go. You know what I mean? But it's through the long suffering is when we get the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's one of the fruits of the spirit, the long suffering. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So because that's when we're gonna get the lesson. That's when we're gonna get the get what we need to get done. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So how is the nonprofit going? Like, what are some of the other obstacles that you gotta jump over to try to get this thing done?
I mean, right now, I think God. So God has been sending help. He know that it's
Okay.
free. So
Okay.
he has been sending, some volunteers. So that's been helpful. That's a big hurdle because it's not all on me. So
Okay.
I'm able to do other things, right? And to focus on building those relationships, trying to get grants
Mm-hmm.
for us to be sustainable. I'm transparent for us to ultimately be sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, the hurdle was just like applying for grants and praying that somebody believes in the mission to say, let's fund this baby. So right now we're just doing the work, getting the numbers, and honestly just trusting God.
You have the are you getting a flow of people that's coming through that need the services?
Oh my God. Oh my God. We literally, so we if you visit our website, I have a form, and on the
Mm-hmm.
form it identifies the need so people can tell us what they need. We
Mm-hmm.
get this form, I want to say maybe 7 times a week.
Mm.
Like maybe and this is really with no marketing, because if we really marketed the form in the site,
Mhm,
we
mhm.
wouldn't have the capacity.
Mm.
So this is just word of mouth, because remember, we're all volunteering.
Yeah,
So with
yeah.
that, like, the need is there. We're satisfying the need.
Mhm.
Every day, if I could do a one-on-one every day, I would and could.
Do y'all
But
do
I've
groups?
learned to refer out.
Do y'all do groups?
We do groups, we do everything one on
That's
one,
dope, man.
refer
That's
out.
dope.
What I've leaned on in this season is letting experts be the experts. There are people that are
Smart,
experts in what they do. I
smart,
will
smart.
refer you out to the
Yeah,
expert. I'm
smart,
not gonna
smart.
run a group that I'm not the expert in. Let's go,
Yeah,
Mike. Come
smart.
on, come through the group. That's
Yeah,
your lane. I
yeah.
know I can get the people to you, right? So that's what I've been really leaning on, my community of experts, and that has been so beautiful. A lot of people have been helped in that way. So what God has been telling me right now, just be the bridge. I'm the connector. I don't have to do
Mm.
the work. People trust me. I trust my relationships. This is how we get the work done without the funding at this time. And I don't get burned out. Because if I did
Mm.
all of it
All
by
praises.
myself,
All
I'll get
praises.
burned out.
All praises. So, you have this going on with the nonprofit thing and everything is flowing. Give me that feeling when you see that success story that you was a part of.
Mm,
Give me that feeling.
mm. I feel like That's the payment.
Mm.
Like that is
Mm.
true unspeakable joy.
Mm.
Like y'all may not want to fund me, but every
Mm.
time somebody is housed, I'm
Mhm.
paying.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Every time somebody who I know would have never went to seek out mental health treatment
Mhm.
goes. Every time
Mhm.
somebody goes to rehab because of me, or my
Mm.
work. Every time somebody is connected to a resource that I know they would never have been connected to, and they did not encounter me, that's the payment, and that's a joy. It's worth any type of funding.
Hmm.
It is worth
Mm.
any when I have a mother who's calling me and
Mhm.
saying, I do not know what to do. When I have a young man who says, Tosh, there's nowhere else to go. There is
Mm.
nowhere else to go. And that reminds me of the work that we do. Like this is God's work. Because
Facts.
when it's all said and
Facts.
done, and people don't know where to go to God because He's gonna send His daughter.
Mm.
I'm the vessel on the earth, and it's just I know I'm doing His work, and I cry often. I'm a cry baby. I'm always crying. God, thank you.
I could
Thank
share
you.
the testament I have. I'm blessed to be able to do a couple groups with the adults at my job, and God, the Most High, blessed my groups to be real powerful. Like the stuff we
Mm,
talk about, we get it in. So a lot of people that leave, um, they be thankful. Like so, one day I'm in Sam's Club, and I had this older sister. She had to be in her late 60s, 70s, something like that. That was had came to rehab and got out, right? And I see her at Sam's Club, and she in one of those motorized cart things,
mhm,
but she with her grandkids and her kids, and she's sober. And she
mhm,
comes and she yells to me, like, and she yells to her kids, that's him right there, that's him right there. Like, he was the one that helped me to, and of course I gave all praise to the Most High, but seeing how happy they was to have their grandmom and mom sober, that feeling
it's
is why
different.
God has me living. You
Mm,
understand? That understanding that and seeing different people when I go to different places that come through New Hope or other places that I go speak at, and understanding, and you can understand this when you see that light go off in their eyes now and they know they got
mhm.
hope.
It's
that light go off and you know they got hope. That's something that you got to experience to be able to understand it. You know what I'm
come
saying?
on.
All praise to
And
the
that's
Most
why
High.
the
Wait.
organization is called Elijah's Hope because God gave me
Mm-hmm.
hope. I know
Mm-hmm.
what it felt like to have that light on from the
Mm-hmm.
Holy Ghost, right? And some people around me. I know what I feel every day because I know I have hope in Jesus, whether you fund me or not.
Mm-hmm.
My hope is built on Him, and
Mm.
and I know what that does to my life because of that hope. Why wouldn't I want other people to experience that? So
Gotta
when
love it.
people experience that, like you're
Mm-hmm.
saying, that thing, joy is what I can title it, but I don't even know if it's a word to really express
Yeah.
what you feel like. That baby, they saw their grandma sober,
Facts. And
like
she was happy. She was pushing the cart. She was like,
what?
eh.
I would have been
She
over
was
there
happy. She
crying
was
if it was
happy.
me.
She
I
was
would have been
happy. She
like,
was happy. I just gave all praise to the Most High and was just happy for her. So now
mm,
you you threw your hat in the political ring. Now I saw your post the other day, and I'm one of the people that I don't get into politics and stuff, like that's not my thing, and it's because of my relationship with God and stuff. We could talk about that later. But this your time. What made you want to throw your hat in the political ring?
I have to always go back to God because
Okay.
if it was up
Okay.
to me, I probably wouldn't have, right?
Okay.
I believe that God had called me. There were some things that I saw on the ground. Well, I'll start there. It was ultimately God. I'll get to that second point. It was ultimately God. He gave me the story of Nehemiah when Nehemiah had to leave his home and God
Mm-hmm.
had told him to go rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gave me that, I didn't, I think I understood, but I didn't know fully. So that was like the first thing. And then the second thing, God said, you're going to go and rebuild systems, restructure
Mm.
systems, and you're going to address systems. I didn't know what that meant, but you know me, God, you done told me stuff before. I'm just going to follow you.
Mm-hmm.
And um, as I was doing the work, I saw that I started to ask questions. I started to say, well, where is the money being allocated? Some things.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
Why are resources not available to why are resources being available to some but not all? Why don't
Mm,
some people have the same opportunities as their counterparts? Why is home ownership not accessible to all people?
mm,
Why are some people being denied loans and some people are? Why are some people receiving money from certain entities and not picking up their phone and not really
mm.
providing the services? So it was just a bunch of questions. And then God began to with these questions, and then what he said to me, I had a conversation with someone, and I knew the opportunity would present itself, and the Holy Ghost said, "You got to run." He
Mm,
said, "In order for you to get these questions answered, you need to be at the table." I've done a
mm.
lot of the grassroots work, and I'm like, God, I'm good out here with the people. Like I'm helping, I'm helping. But he was like, you have to help on this level now. You have to change policy. You have to address some things. You have to that spirit of radicalness that I have, that I ain't backing out and I ain't scared. That now has to be at this level if you truly want your people help. If
Okay.
you truly want poverty to not be managed, that
Mm-hmm.
means money has to be allocated in places. Policies have to be changed. Things have to be addressed. Questions have to be asked, and that can happen at the seat. So that's the why.
Okay.
It's like three parts.
Um, I grew up in it. My brother, who's my big brother, Mike Pentella, he was the Paul Mike Pentella. He was city council president for
Oh
years.
wow.
When Doug was in office, Tony Mack was the freeholder. So back then it was like a machine. I've been inside of it. I know
Mm.
inside those meetings, I know the type of stuff that goes on. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know the what's when things is getting played, how the media gets into it, that whole
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it. So my question to you is, as a woman that says that she's in deep in the faith, what's gonna happen? Because it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come a time if you get in this that your morals are gonna get tested.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be some decisions that some people are gonna want you to make that is gonna go against your core belief in God and everything else. And what's gonna happen then? Are you gonna be ready for that?
I'm ready. I'm ready for God. I'm ready. I stand with God. And I
Okay.
believe that's why God is calling me to it, because he understands I'm not bending. I'm
Okay.
not bending before the seat. I'm not going to bend in the seat.
Okay.
Anything that goes against the people is a no for me, right?
Okay.
And I think all the pain that I've been through have prepared me for this, right? I know what it's like to be rejected. So if you want to be my friend, I'm used to that. I was rejected since I was 14.
Uh-huh.
It's been
Uh-huh.
being God for a long time.
Okay.
What you gonna do to me, right?
Okay.
So all of what I've been through has prepared me. I went through a season, and God had gave me in the scripture, be like a tree planted by the rivers of the water that you're not easily
Mm-hmm.
tossed to and fro. And
Mm-hmm.
in that season, I learned grit, right? I
Mm.
learned how to be planted even when you feel like you're the minority,
Mm-hmm.
right? I learned how to be planted on God even when everything feels loud and it looks like the majority is winning, right? So all of what I've been through, the pain has settled me and readied me. If it goes against God, I'm not standing with it. And I'm willing
Mm.
to remove myself from it. This seed is not for me. It's not for me for power. It's not only for the goodness of God and his people. In any moment where those two things are challenged and it becomes not for the good of God or his people, I don't mind stepping myself out. I don't mind
Mm.
being transparent and bowing out and saying, I can't stand with that. I can't sit with that. You
Mm.
know, um, I'm I my leadership, my good friend and my partner says, stay true to who I am. And I believe if I stay true to who I am, I will not bend.
You
And that's
understand what I was?
I
Yeah,
understand what you're saying.
yeah, yeah. Because I had, like I'm saying, I grew up in it as a youngster. You know what I mean? So I know it gets politics get deep. It
Yeah,
cut.
yeah.
It get deep. You'll see a lot of stuff. You'll be like, whoa. You know what I mean? And I had a one of my first ones. One of my first things on here on this podcast. One of my first guests was a guy that was the mayor of Atlantic City that had got arrested. His name was Frank Gillian, and he came on, and that was one of the questions I asked him, and he said that he would he would never get back into it because of the wickedness that go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that comes along in the game, and it's always that time where, do I take this deal knowing now it's going to benefit these people I'm dealing with, but what about the people that's suffering? You get what I'm
Yeah, I'm not
saying?
doing it. I'm not doing it. Let me tell
You get
you,
what I'm saying?
what I go through now, I'm already have faced with some stuff. And I've already made
Mm,
the decision to stay with God and the people. Right.
mm,
So I'm already going through it. I've already been introduced to things. I've already that's why I go back to, if it doesn't benefit God and the people, it ain't a hard decision for me. It's
I
not
like
hard,
that.
right? Like I don't want anything from this. So it's not like you can try to buy me, because I'm not looking for friendship. I have good friends. I'm not looking for love. I have good love. I got a church family. I got my daughter love me in real life, right? Like, so I'm not looking for something so much so that I'm willing to betray God, myself, and my people, right? I'm fulfilled within. I know this is mission, right? And I also believe, I will say this, I believe He wants to do something different in Trenton. So I think this is
Mm,
why He needs to bring His anointed. And I'm not saying nobody's not anointed, right? I believe everybody that's on the first council seat, shout out to all of them. They are doing amazing, and right.
mhm,
And
mhm,
I only
mhm,
want to contribute. Um,
mhm,
but I believe that God wants to bring a different type of anointing to
okay.
Trenton. And I
Uh-huh.
believe He's called the people that's been hidden and that's been has been groomed with Him, that's done
Mhm,
the work to sit, because He know we won't bow. He know we will
mhm.
not bow. So I say all that to say, like, I'm rooted, I'm grounded in the Lord. I'm not
Oh,
saying
praise
things
him.
are not going to come. It will, right? But I'm grounded and I'm rooted. I'm not like a tree. You can't toss
Yeah.
me to
There you go.
fro.
There you
So
go.
that evil gonna have to stay over there. Something I gotta plead the blood of Jesus. Like, I done got a fresh some oil.
Mhm.
Stay away from me, Satan.
Mm. See, with me, like the reason I don't really get into it for what I learned, like my faith and I'm so deep into what God wants us to do. Because I don't think, honestly, most of the stuff, I think that it's not based on our economics. It's not based on our resonance. It's not based on that. I think us as the children of Israel, we suffered from a sin problem. You know what I mean? And in Second Chronicles 7:14, God said, "If my people, which are called by my name, which is us, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways,
Wickedness.
then I will hear from heaven and will
Mm-hmm.
forgive their sin and will heal their land." So in my house, man, my wife, we practice the commandments. You know what I'm saying? We do the Old and New Testament. We follow His statutes. We do that. So with that what comes with it is that protection, and then the prosperous. But the only thing He gives us to prosper is to further His kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So when we get stuff that He gives us,
That's
it's to
good.
make His kingdom better. It's not
Mm-hmm,
about
mm-hmm.
what we have or what we got going on, this and that. So that's why we don't, as Israelites, we don't vote or anything, because our total trust is in God. You get what I'm saying? Like if we do what we supposed to do, He's gonna deliver to us what we supposed to have. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, but I do see grind. And are you married?
No, I'm engaged.
You engaged?
Mhm.
So how does Miss Dr. Ellis, with all of this stuff going on, still play that role and be a mom and like off the court? Let's say this sports off the court. What's life off the court
Um,
to your with your future husband? What's life off the court?
so first honoring him, but
All
second,
praises.
I believe I don't say it loud. Somebody said don't say it loud, but I'm able to do this work because of his love,
All
right?
praises.
Because of his protection, because I know he got me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I understand that I have to give into. So I make my relationship, my family, my priority. They're my first priority. They're
Okay.
my first kingdom work, right?
Okay. Okay.
Before I serve anybody, I serve my family. I serve,
Okay.
my family can speak of the same thing the community can say because I'm the same way in the house that I am outside.
That's dope.
And
That's dope.
so it's not as hard. It's a little bit more intentionality because you can get stuck over here helping here. But my relationship, because we talk, I'm able to be brought back into if I'm going too far into other spaces. So
That's
just,
dope. That's
just
dope.
trying to answer the question is just I honor my relationship. I honor my daughter.
Mm.
I honor them as my priority. I honor that God wants me to take care of them as well. So I'm intentional, even more intentional because I do so much. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly checking in. I'm constantly like, hey, pull me back in. Are you okay? I'm checking in with my daughter. I know I'm helping 20 girls over here, but we good?
Uh-huh.
Are
Uh-huh.
you good? What do you
Mm-hmm.
need? Like the other day, she did something. She had a picture. She had a scarf. I said, "Hold up, you need to hear that?" Because I'm like, I don't want to be too busy that I'm not, So I'm always like,
That's
"Hold on, your
dope.
nails
That's
done? Your
dope.
these feet done? Your
That's
brain?"
dope.
So I'm always checking in. Like, how's your heart? How's your
That's dope.
brain? How's your
That's dope.
mind? Do you need me? Am I
That's
doing too
dope.
much? So that's how the balance is. And not saying that it's always perfect, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
always willing to bringing myself back around to saying like, let me be grounded. But again, I'm able to do all of this because of his love. And it just makes it a little bit more easy. Because let me tell you, I know when he's stepping, I'm unbeatable. Okay. With that man
I love
behind
it.
me, I'm not scared of
Mm.
nothing because of his love.
Yeah.
I feel like I can go into a burning house and I know that I will be okay. And that was God's love for me through him. So
All
it's
praises.
a
And tell
relationship.
him I never met him, but tell him I appreciate him allowing you to come on to do this podcast. Um,
Because I was
last two questions. If you had the wand or the power, I want to say wand because we don't do witchcraft and nothing like that. If you had the power to be able to make Trenton into what you wanted, what would that look like?
for me, I would love for it to be an equally resource place. I would
Mm,
love for people from Stuyvesant and Hoffman and the section to have the same opportunities as everybody else. I would love for
mm,
them to be homeowners. I would love for the generational, I would love for the wealth gap to be closed, right?
mm, mm-hmm,
I would love for people to be mentally well, spiritually well, physically well, financially well. Um, and in order for that to happen, they would need to be resourced. They would need to have investment. So for me, I just want our people well. I want them to know
mm,
God. I want them to know that He is truly the Prince of Peace. He is truly Alpha and Omega. He is truly beginning and the ending. He truly wants the best for them. God is not a God that wants us in poverty. He's not a God that wants us constantly just suffering in agony. He wants us to experience joy. He wants us to experience peace. He wants Trenton to not be in turmoil. He doesn't want us having the black cloud around us. I want that truth
mm-hmm.
because I understand that if people in Trenton encounter the love of God and they encounter the richness of God, the peace of God, the promise of God, they will in turn change their mind. And if their minds are
Mm-hmm.
changed, their behaviors will change. If their behaviors will change, their life will change. So it all starts from the root of God. May they
There you go.
truly encounter the love of the everlasting God who cares. He is concerned about Trenton. He's not just concerned about Ewing. He's not concerned about Hamilton.
Uh-huh.
He's not
Uh-huh.
concerned just about Princeton and Mill Hill. He's not just concerned about Hiltonia. He's concerned about Stuyvesant Avenue, Walnut Avenue, Hermitage Avenue, Princeton Avenue. He is concerned. And in his concern, he will give us the resources that we all need to not to come from survival into thriving. So, and in turn, the new Trenton I will see is a fully resourced Trenton where we all are okay. We are
Oh,
all well,
praise.
and whatever well is to you, well may be
Mm-hmm.
different to you for you than it is to me.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever the well is, whatever the you are good, whatever that is to that individual, that they get to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for me what I would love to see for Trenton.
All right. You sitting in your nonprofit office. Enter and walks 14-year-old girl about to
Mm-hmm,
be 15.
mm-hmm,
She sits down, she got tears in her eyes, and she says to you, I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do.
mm.
What's your response?
Come give me a hug, baby.
Mm.
First, I gotta give her a hug. I
Mm-hmm.
have to love on her. I have to give her that moment to release,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have to let her know that she is safe. I have to let her know that I got her back, and I mean it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean it. Um, and once we get that right, we give her that moment to emote, to release, pray over her. Whether I'm allowed to pray loudly or pray while she's in my arms, praying over her that God
Mm-hmm.
give me the wisdom to speak, to give me the resources to give to her. And after that, I hear her story. I know that's
Mm.
important. Before I could give you a resource, this may be the only place that you're ever able to tell the story. So I give her a
Mm.
moment to tell her the story, tell me the history, tell me how she got here, tell me the dynamic of the family, tell me whatever she feel like she has been holding captive inside of her, because that's going to be the first level of freedom. Once we get her free emotionally, mentally, then it's time to get a resource. It's time to say,
Mm.
how do we help her? If there's a housing need, who do we need to connect her to? Does she have support for the family? Do we need to connect her to a church? Do we need to connect her to another organization? So really just assessing what she needs and getting that baby everything she needs in
Mm.
our ability. And a lot of times we're able to do it because we're calling on all of the people. If you
Mm.
got the resources, you're going to call. She need Pampers. Okay, that's an organization for that. There's housing. There's an organization for that. She needs some spiritual. Then we got Transformation Church. She needs a woman. Then we got Diane Bellamy. Like whatever the need is, call on the folks that God has called to do the work to ultimately help that baby.
Mm.
And
And it's
calling her
great.
family, we need to get the family in. Let's do the family session. Whatever it is, we are addressing it.
And it's dynamic that you were that 14-year-old, but back then you didn't know that all of that was for this. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I tell them people that you gotta
Mm,
keep going down that dark alley, because when that light come at the end, you're gonna know what it's all about. You
mm,
talked about attempting suicide. I thought about suicide when I was going through the murder investigation of the people that killed my wife, and I was the suspect. So
mm.
I understand. But imagine, but look at us now that we didn't do it. You get what I'm saying? That's what this is all about. So when closing, I always give everybody the opportunity. This your opportunity. Give all the shout outs to all the people that helped you from your pain to your purpose.
Shout out to God.
All praise to the Most High.
Shout out to God. Shout out to God. Um, who's first and foremost in my life, because I understand what God, He touches the hearts of people
Mm,
um, to give into my bosom to help me. My mom, she is the greatest example of what a selfless woman looks like.
mm-hmm,
A woman that is not envious, a woman that is strong, that's rooted in the gospel. My
mm,
grandma, who's no longer here, but she taught me to love Jesus even when I don't understand. Shout out to
mm-hmm,
my baby, my daughter Imijah, the reason behind the Imijah's Hope Center. Um, Shout out to my man, my man, my man. My husband.
That's
um,
dope. That's
he
dope.
is my protector. Shout out to him. Shout out to my best friend Diane Bellamy, who has been
Mm,
my strength in this as well. She keeps me together. She keeps me together. Shout out to my church, Transformation Church, my bishop, Antonio Bellamy. Shout out to
mm-hmm.
everybody who supports me, who loves me. Shout out to the Wellness Center. Shout out to my team. Shout out to everybody. And shout out to you, Mike. I thank you.
Oh, praise to
I
the Most
thank you
High.
for doing this. I thank you for letting God use you. I thank you for
Oh,
not
praise
counting
to
it
the Most
robbery
High.
for me to reach out to me. You know, I still be like, me, God. I still get tripped up. So I just take it for granted. Like I'm honored when I tell you I'm gonna get off and cry because like wow, God, you saw fit to touch Mike's heart to even consider me. So I
Nah,
thank
because
you. I thank you.
yeah, because I look at people posts, people that I see putting in work with nonprofits and things like that, and the Most High gave me the discernment to be able to see if the person really into it, like seriously, are they honestly
Mhm.
really trying to help? So then when I see that, it automatically hits me that they gotta have a story behind this,
Mhm.
because the work that we do, it comes with you. You had to have a story behind it, especially if you're passionate about it. So I wanted
Mhm.
to give you the opportunity to tell your story. You did a great job, and I think it was the best one to the best way to for the season finale for season 2. You know what I mean? So I want to thank you
You
for coming
too.
on. Thank your fiance for allowing you to come on. I hope one day that I can meet your daughter because she seemed like a very powerful young
Oh my
lady.
God, you would love
Hmm.
her. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can get her. I would love for her to say hi. Let me. I know we gotta go, but
No, it's
let's
cool. No,
see.
it's cool.
I would
It's cool.
love for her. Um, let's see if I can get her on FaceTime. You would love her. I mean, she's so much better than me. She's so smart. I thought I was smart. This
Uh,
girl is.
that's
Hi,
dope.
I'm on camera. I'm in an interview. I want you to say hi to Mr. Mike. You want to say hi to the community? Can y'all see her?
Hey, how you doing? Check out the podcast. She definitely talked a lot about you. I hope you become the lawyer that you need to be, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All praises to the most high. All praises to the most high.
All right, we're
All
live.
right,
So I'm
sis,
just
enjoy the all right, sis, enjoy the rest of your day. I know you got a lot going on. I'm about to go on a date with my wife and we're gonna hit
Hey,
the gym and
wifey,
do
tell
all
her
that
thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah. Babe, she said thank you. Um, I'll hit your I'll be in touch because I'm trying to get down there to do some groups or something. Let me know.
Whenever you're
All
ready,
right.
you let me know. All right,
All right.
thank
All right,
you.
no doubt. All right, no doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, that was a great interview, man, for the season 2 finale. I want to thank you guys for tuning in from Pain to Purpose. Stay tuned for season 3. It'll be a couple months from now. And enjoy the rest of your day. Shalom.